company, yes.
He asked you to design a code to rig an election
Yes,
while he was Speaker of the Florida House.
yes,
This was during or previous to the 2000 election?
yes, October into September.
And did he ever express why he wanted a code to rig an election?
No, I immediately assumed that they were trying to keep you guys from cheating them. So, so I wrote up the documentation of what you would look for in the source code, how you would make sure that you didn't get, taken advantage of, make sure that all voting machines had receipts, because that way you could back count the ones that looked a little funny. And I handed it
By receipts, you mean a paper trail?
Yes, paper trail. And I handed that in to Mrs. Yang and said, here's your report, here's your program. And she said, you don't understand, we need to hide the fraud in the source code.
Hide the fraud, not reveal the fraud.
Not reveal the fraud, because it's needed to control the vote in South Florida, was what she said.
That's what she said.
That's what
Online alternative news sites provide comprehensive coverage of vote fraud. As an example, take whatreallyhappened.com. This site features vote fraud blogs and vlogs in their own archive. Okay, do this. Google whatreallyhappened.com, vote fraud archives, and it'll take you to the archives. Let me give you an example of the kind of articles you can find on this excellent site. Here's a New York Times article, and it's on the unofficial tallies at the Democratic primaries in New York City. Here's the lead. Black voters are heavily represented in the 94th election district in Harlem's 70th Assembly District. Yet according to the unofficial results from the New York Democratic primary last week, not a single vote in the district was cast for Senator Barack Obama, and that's in Harlem. Here's another article on Ron Paul's name being crossed off of the ballots in the New York primaries. This is a prisonplanet.com article. Here's an overview of the ballot. A closer look shows Giuliani's name crossed off, but of course he was out of the race by that time, and Ron Paul's name crossed off. Here's a closer look at Ron Paul's name being crossed off, and you can read it here, Ron Paul. This particular article accompanies another related article where Steve Miller from Brooklyn, who's a Ron Paul supporter, was going to the polls and observed the poll workers telling people who wanted to vote for Ron Paul that he was off the ballot and not in the election. These archives have links to videos as well, and here's one that's a must-view video on for anyone who's interested in vote fraud in America. It's an HBO production, and it's Hacking Democracy, a 1 hour and 22-minute video on Google Video, and it's also featured on a 9-part series in YouTube. Hacking Democracy is a professionally produced documentary. It features vote fraud activists like Beverly Harris, founder of Black Box Voting. Here's a clip of her showing former presidential candidate Howard Dean how Diebold voting machine totals can be changed using the software she accessed and downloaded from the Diebold site.
You see, we have 800 votes here for you and 400 for Lex Luthor. Let's just flip those. We'll make that 400. And we'll give 100 votes to Tiger. Let's just see what happened here. We'll go back into GEMS the legitimate way. And as you can see now, Howard Dean only has 500 votes. Lex Luthor has 900 and Tiger Woods has 100 votes. We just edited an election. It took us 90 seconds.
Beverly just demonstrated how easily electronic voting machines can be compromised, but that doesn't prove it's ever happened. Watch as an independent truther documents a clear discrepancy between media reports in the New Hampshire primary.
Okay, YouTube, I don't know what this means, and I'm not at this point going to make any allegations because I'm not like that, but we need to analyze something here it's not adding up right, folks, and I want everybody to watch this video to pay attention to this. Now, this is Boston.com. This is, I believe, the Boston Globe's, yeah, the Boston Globe's webpage, and it's showing that what they're telling everybody in the press, that McCain got 86, and there's the list right there, Ron Paul with 8%. Okay, remember that 8%, because we're going to show you statistics that don't add up here, folks. There's something amiss, and I can prove it. Now, this information, believe it or not, comes right from the news source Associated Press. That means for them to release this had to be checked and double-checked. If not, then that's a journalism, that's another subject. But the source is the Associated Press. Let's look at the totals, folks. This don't add up here. Even if this is a misprint, something's still not right. Look at the totals in the columns. McCain 0, Paul 79. I'm going to scroll down all the way. Look, 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 1, 0, 1, 0, 0 for McCain. Look at Dr. Paul's totals. Now, even if this is a misprint, now it goes all the way, look, all the way down the page. All the way down. Dr. Paul is annihilated. Look, what's this? 4294 votes for Dr. Paul, 11 votes for McCain in, I don't even know how to pronounce that, Nasha. I'm sorry, guys, if I pronounce it wrong. All we have to do is open up the box and hand count these votes. 4294 for Paul, 11 for McCain. Look, it's the whole column's that way. Even if this is a misprint, and McCain's numbers are really Paul's and Paul's are McCain's, look at this, 1, 5. Statistically, even if Dr. Paul is just pulling 8 or 10%, this number here, that's like 1/10 of 1% of the vote. In which city is this? There it is. Moultonboro. Statistically, even if these numbers were reversed, that is physically impossible for Dr. Paul to only have 1/10 of 1% of the vote in that precinct. It's statistically impossible if he's pulling in 8% of the vote like the mainstream wants to tell you.
That vlog was contributed by YouTube member Riffjiff. Another vote fraud watchdog also observed the startling election results on the Boston Globe's website at about 4 a.m. 6 hours later, the numbers had been changed so individual district tallies matched the reported totals. YouTube member Sepoy Dog then accessed the corrections and retractions page, yet no mention of the gigantic error was posted.
So I looked at the corrections for January 9th, and they talk about something that happened on Saturday, and something about Parmesan cheese, Stop and Shop. I looked at January 8th just in case, and there's nothing.
Exit polls often display results difficult to fathom. Either the polls lack credibility or the voting public is really confused. This New York Times article dated Sunday, March 2nd, 2008, features the results of an exit poll survey given across the state during the New Hampshire primaries. The survey includes the topic, Feelings about the Iraq War. According to the survey, 38% of those who strongly disapprove of the Iraq War claim to have voted for McCain. McCain has said during a debate that he's willing to stay in Iraq for 100 years. McCain's position on Iran is best shown by this clip.
That old Beach Boys song, Bomb Iran, you know, bomb, 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 bomb. Anyway.
Vote fraud opportunities aren't limited to the vulnerability of electronic voting machines. Election workers can simply change the results when recording tallies. Here's Prison Planet's Alex Jones doing live radio when he gets a call from New Hampshire. It was Beverly Harris of BlackBoxVoting.org.
Denmark. Okay, let's go to Bev Harris. Bev, break down exactly what we've seen develop here.
Oh boy, I just got off the phone with the town of Sutton. Ron Paul got 31 votes, not 0. I have it confirmed from the town clerk. I asked her why the discrepancy, and she said they simply failed to put the right number on the form they sent to the media.
Sure, it's accidental.
It doesn't matter. This is unacceptable.
Shut it down!
The classic method for rigging a hand count is to write the wrong number on the form. If you go to where'sthepaper.org, that's a site that does a lot of research on all kinds of election fraud.
Bev, this is huge breaking news. Stop. This is huge breaking news. Again, tell everybody listening the name of the township. This is just one. See, within hours we're
catching. Just one.
Give us all the names. This is huge breaking news.